your boy D-Ro with High Regard Photography. Now today's video, I want to talk about 2 lens choices that I think that a lot of people starting out should have in their camera bags. Now contrary to popular belief, when you want to make money at photography, you don't just go and buy the most expensive camera and the most expensive lens and automatically get these high quality bookings. That's generally not how it works. I know it may work like that for some people here and there, but by and large, it doesn't work like that. So I always recommend decent, mid-range, consumer level products. So for today's video, I'm gonna be talking about the Tamron Sp 85mm and the SP 35mm. Now these are both 1.8 lenses with vibration control, autofocus, and they will work on your R series cameras. Now I prefer to use EF glass on my RF system because I love the mic drop-in filter adapter. So instead of screwing your NDs on the front traditionally, you would get the mic adapter, attach it to the back of the lens, and then attach that to the camera. And then you can slide in different filters, which comes in handy because you don't have to have all kind of different filter sizes. You can have one filter size as long as it fits into that RF adapter. Now with these drop-in filters, you can find a few different brands making them. I use the mic filters. They're usually a little bit more mid-range in price. So yeah, if you're shooting video, if you're shooting flash photography, and you need to keep your aperture at a constant aperture, say if you're trying to make sure you stay at 1.8 on your aperture, use those ND filters to cut down some of the light so you're seen as an overexposed. So with that out of the way, I'm gonna talk real quick about the Tamron 35mm. With the 35mm, this is probably like my least favorite of the two. I wish I would have got the 45. And I'm thinking about getting a 45 down the line, but I didn't feel like I needed 35 and 45. But as time went on, I'm starting to realize that I really kind of don't like 35mm. At first I thought I wouldn't like the 45 because I got so bored with 50. But when I look back through my images shot in the past, 50mm and 85 are probably my favorite shots that I've taken. 35, it's kind of like a no man's land to me. It's not like a wide lens, but it's wide enough to bring in distortion. However, if you don't mind 35, then there's no harm in getting this Tamron. Now this lens is weather sealed. You'll see that it has a gasket on the back. I don't know if you can see it on there or not, but it does have the weather sealed gasket. And like I said earlier, it has the image stabilization, they call it VC. It has a wide 1.8 aperture. It's got a nice sturdy metal feel and a lens hood. Now if you're a filmmaker, you're gonna like this focus ring. If you're pulling focus yourself, this focus ring is really smooth and it's pretty large, and it has the focus window to let you know how far or what distance it's focusing at. Now the front element does kind of come in and out a little bit, but it doesn't pass the filterings. If you are using front mounted filters, you're not gonna have a problem with that rotating on you as you focus in and out. So all in all, this is a pretty solid lens. I literally take it on every shoot that I do, and I will for a while until I go ahead and get the 45mm. The next lens I want to talk about is the Tamron 85, and literally all of the same things apply to it. If anything, I'd say that the focus ring is a little smoother on this one. Oh, and the element doesn't move at all in there as you focus. So that's a plus. And then definitely your outer filter ring doesn't move at all. So if you're using polarizers or anything like that, you don't have to worry about your image shifting or the color shifting or anything. It does have the VC, autofocus, nice weather gasket. Now these lenses are kind of heavy, but to me, especially using smaller camera bodies, the weight of these lenses kind of help me balance the camera. But they are sturdy lenses. They're metal constructed. It's not anything that you would want to drop because it seems like the black paint would chip pretty easy. I got a couple scuff marks, not from drops, just from it knocking around in the bag. But yeah, the 85 and the 35. The 85 by far is my favorite of the two. Some of my favorite sessions were done with it. Sometimes the 85 does tend to have like a reddish cast or hue to it. I don't know what that is. Like, it's like in certain situations where light hits it a certain way. But all in all, I mean, this is absolutely my favorite lens. It has a real artistic touch. The bokeh looks great. Sharpness is great. I have no complaints at all about this Tamron 85. And I bought these like 4 or 5 years ago, and my battery's dying. Hold on. All right, I'm back. So the 85 has excellent sharpness, a slight reddish hue in some situations. The 35 to me is slightly less sharp. I mean, people say it's sharp, it's just as you zoom in, it's like I don't get as much crop out of this, but probably because I'm cropping to a higher percent to get the same high detail or whatever, you know, because you're shooting the whole scene. So I don't know, maybe it's sharp enough, but when I'm going for sharpness, I use this 85. And I think there's like sample variation, because I've heard people complain about the sharpness out of the 85 and they praise the 35. To me, it's the other way around. I love the 85 sharpness. The 35, you know, it's usable. I mean, it's not an issue, but you know, sharpness is not the first thing that comes to mind for me with the 35. However, this is like when I'm shooting full body portraits and things like that, if I'm trying to get a lot of the background in. So it shouldn't be a lot of pixel peeping going on in those situations anyway. My only dislike about the 85 is, in my experience, it does focus hunt a little bit more than my Canon native lenses. And my native lenses are just the nifty 50, the 24 to 105, and the 17 to 40. That's what I'm being recorded on now. And I have a 70 to 210. It's like an old school. I'm gonna do a video on that too. That's a dope lens. It looks great. It's probably just about as sharp as this. It's about as sharp as, like, right in between as far as sharpness. But I'll do a video on that one later. But yeah, the 85 focus hunts just a little bit more than my Canon lenses. I'd say like 5% more at focus hunts. And it's things where you got a super bright background, a dark subject, it gets lost. Like, it will get lost. I did a beach session with a model. It was an African girl. And I wanted to get the sunrise, like I wanted the sunrise to be like right out of frame, but I wanted like the water to be like lit or whatever, have a nice edge light on her. So the sun wasn't even in frame, but shooting the African model against the bright sky, sun's coming up. It was probably about 7 in the morning, 8 in the morning, on the beach. And like literally I could not get it to focus. Like, I don't think my 24 to 105 would have had that problem, but nonetheless, I mean, basically I just had to switch and shoot with the sunlight instead of directly at it. And we got the day done. I just didn't get the shots that I want. That's like the worst feeling though. Like when you have a subject there, you have a model or a client, and you're sitting there jacking with the camera trying to figure out how to make it do something that you needed to do, and it just won't do it. I did have that experience with the 85. That's what actually started me using the 24 to 105 a lot more. But recently I've been back on my 35 and 85 thing. So that's been it, y'all. It's your boy D-Ro, Out of Art Photography. I'm out.